welcome to KBS World Radio. You're now tuned in to Korea 24's Korea Book Club, where we explore the world of Korean literature. This is our weekend replay edition, playing back our book segment from Wednesday's show. We hope you enjoy it. I'm your host, Kwon Jang-woo. Joining us once again in the studio, we have with us literary critic Barry Welsh. Barry, hello. It's great to see you again.
Yes, hello. It's great to see you too.
What book are you introducing to our listeners today?
Well, today I'm excited to introduce a brand new debut novel called Yeonnam-Dong's Smiley Laundromat by Kim Ji-yoon. And the Korean title is Yeonnam-Dong 빙굴빙굴 balibang, and the translator is Shanna Tan. The novel was originally published in Korea last year, and it very quickly became a bestseller. And it is also very much part of a trend for gentle, comforting, and charming books that seem to have exploded in popularity here in Korea over the past couple of years and are now seemingly doing very well in English translation. And Yeonnam-Dong's Smiley Laundromat is it's set in a rapidly gentrifying district of Seoul. It's a real district this time. And the novel tells the story of the sort of various stories, some extraordinary, some more mundane, of the residents of this gentrifying area. And all these stories revolve around their local laundromat, which becomes kind of a hub of connection and sort of blossoming kindness between these various people. And most of this is facilitated by a sort of discarded notebook, which customers are invited to leave little messages, and slowly some sort of candid diary entries from the laundromat customers are put into the notebook, and this leads to a kind of a small revolution in the community of empathy and support. And like I said, it's a debut novel, but it's touched the hearts of many readers here in Korea. It has a very big and quite a vocal following online and in various places. And I think the reason for this is that it celebrates, in a very charming way, the preciousness of human relationships in what is the very fast-paced, competitive Korean society. And the writer Kim Ji-yoon, she was raised in Seoul. She's a graduate of Dankook University, but she says she drew inspiration for this novel from observing a laundromat late at night when she was walking around the Hongdae area, and that the novel was written in part as a response to the sort of forced isolation and increased loneliness that happened because of the COVID pandemic. It's a very warm, fuzzy book that's designed to tug at heartstrings, and I think it will probably be just as popular with English readers as it has been with Korean readers.
Yeah, it's interesting. As you said, this trend for gentle, comforting books has been something very significant in Korea in recent years. And it took a while, but we are getting more and more of these translations of these sorts of books now, suggesting that it is something that's appealing to international readers as well. So can you tell us a bit more about this story and what it's about as well?
Right, of course. So the Yeonnam-Dong's Smiley Laundromat, it revolves around this sort of charming, unassuming laundromat in a very bustling neighborhood of Seoul. And it comes to serve as a refuge for the various people and customers who live in the neighborhood, and they're all experiencing some kind of problem. The story begins when the nominal main character of the story, who's an elderly man named Jang. He's referred to as Old Jang throughout the story, but he stumbles upon, he has to go to the laundromat because his dog pees on his rug or blanket, and he takes it to the laundromat. And when he's there, he discovers this sort of neglected diary notebook that's just sort of left in the laundromat. And so he's intrigued, and while he's waiting for his blanket to be cleaned, he starts reading the entries. And in the entries, he sort of comes across the personal problems and even some sort of heartfelt confessions of the various people who use the laundromat. And as he and then later some of the other customers begin to respond to these messages, they sort of slowly form connections and a support network with one another through their sort of different challenges that they're all facing, whether this is loneliness or financial difficulties or relationship problems or child raising problems. And so these are sort of depicted as linked short stories or little vignettes, and they usually unfold with warmth and humour. It does take a little bit of a darker turn towards the end, but generally these stories all showcase how the act of sharing can sort of foster a community. And it's a very charmingly or beautifully woven tapestry of interconnected tales, and the Kim's goal is to highlight the importance of empathy and kindness in the busy lives of Seoul citizens.
Yes, you can see the parallels with Yeonnam-Dong bookstore especially,
Yeah.
I think. It's a simple but very effective moving setup, it sounds like. A diary at a laundromat that people read and add to while I guess they wait for their laundry to be done. And so I guess we could call the diary itself an important character in the book.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so it's the diary really is at the heart of the story. So it's a sort of forgotten notebook, but then it inspires this communal space where everybody comes together and expresses their innermost thoughts and feelings. They reveal their vulnerability. They share their struggles and their fears and their hopes. And just writing in the diary becomes a catalyst for connection between the different customers. And then it's when they begin to respond to each other that the stories really sort of start to get rolling. And then the impact of their interactions of the characters becomes quite profound. For some of them, it's a safe space to voice their feelings, which they might not otherwise be able to share, or they can't share with family members, or maybe their family members don't understand. And they're all really just breaking down their isolation that they've been put into. Then for other characters, it's just an opportunity to step outside of themselves and feel useful and offer some kind of support. But again, they're all just about fostering this sort of sense of purpose and belonging. But it's through the diary that we see the characters' relationships develop. Some of them start as individual stories of hardship, but then they transform into a more collective narrative of resilience and kindness. And yeah, I think it shows how this sort of simple object, this diary, this notebook, can be a bridge between strangers. It reminds us of our shared humanity, the importance of community, and just how we need each other to navigate life's challenges. And by the end of the novel, the diary is just this sort of symbol of hope and connection and strength in a fragmented world.
So what are your final thoughts on the book, and what do you hope readers take away from it?
Right, yeah, I think I'm just going to repeat what you said, really. So I think it's a very charming book. It's meant to be this delightful, and beguiling story about human connection and the beauty that we can find in our everyday lives. I think it's a book that will resonate with lots of readers. Clearly, there's an appetite for this type of thing just now, and maybe lots of people feel isolated or whatnot. But I think readers will come away feeling inspired to reach out to other people in their community, maybe just to offer a kind word or a listening ear like the characters in the novel do. But ultimately, it's just a novel that emphasises small acts of kindness and how they can have a profound impact. And it invites us to reflect on our own relationships, perhaps, too, and just encourage us to nurture our communities. And I think it's a perfect read for anyone who's looking for a bit of warmth and upliftment. And I suspect that lots of readers will respond to these heartfelt stories that are woven through this very charming story.
Indeed. So yes, once again, it's called Yeonnam-Dong's Smiley Laundromat by Kim Ji-yoon, translated by Shanna Tan. And that was our pick for this week's Korea Book Club. Barry, thank you for another recommendation. Till next time, take care.
Okay, take care.